Hey VC, it's Jonathan, your cheap and cheerful record collector. So a little different view of my listening room today. I've been having a dilemma, and the dilemma is, do you listen to music or do you make videos about listening to music? So recently I've just been listening more than making videos about it. I've collected a bunch of stuff recently, but I've just been wanting to listen to stuff, and I'm always torn between, should I make a video, should I watch people making videos, or should I listen to music? So am I the only one that has this dilemma? What should I do tonight? Should I watch people's videos, or should I just go listen to music? What should I do this afternoon? Should I make a video, or should I just listen to music? It's become sort of a sticking point for me. The other problem is, when I make my videos before this one, I always had to move a table, put some books on it, set it up, bring a chair in from the other room, move another table, it was a hassle. It became sort of like more than I wanted to deal with. I had too much setup. So this is easier. I got actually a picture, a plate holder, and set the phone in it right on top of one of my speakers and hit the play button. I'm ready to go. So hopefully this will be easier, quicker, and I'll make more videos because they're easier to do. Okay, so now all that preamble is out of the way. About a week ago, Brian from Shamrock and Records and I went down to Newbury Comics right outside Boston, Mass, to the biggest store they have, I guess. And they had a lot of used records there too, which most of the Newbury Comics don't, but they had a whole bunch of used records. And we did some shopping. He found some great stuff. I found some good stuff. I've also ordered some stuff online. So I thought I'd go through and show all the new items I've picked up recently. First thing I'll show is an album by the James Hunter Six. James Hunter is an Irish blue-eyed soul singer. For a while he was Van Morrison's favorite new singers. I guess that was his big claim to fame. Great album, very much like a Sam Cooke kind of thing. This was a 2020 album on Daptone. One of the cool things about this record is that it was recorded on tape, not recorded on digital, to 8 tracks, and then it was put on vinyl in mono. So this is a mono recording. So it's a new mono recording. Great blue-eyed soul. If you like Sam Cooke and that kind of stuff, I think you definitely dig this record. Not much to see on the label. So anyway, really enjoyed this. James Hunter 6 on Daptone. It's called Nick of Time. So sort of cool that it's a new mono recording. This one I've already shown, but I finally picked up a copy because they had it marked down from, like, I think it was $39.99 to $29.99, so I couldn't resist. And it's a new Springsteen album, Letter to You. Listened to it for the first time yesterday, and I thought it was really good. I was really impressed by how much I like this album. The packaging is just great. They did a great job in the packaging. Even the plastic they put the sleeves in is sort of this cool rice paper. And I got the gray version, gray vinyl. Let's see, Letter to You I thought was great. Jenny Needs a Shooter, Last Man Standing, The Power of Prayer. Really highlights of the album. Ghosts, Songs for Orphans, just great. Excuse me. They also gave this very cool booklet with it, which has all the lyrics, which, if you've watched my videos before, you know I'm a big fan of that. I really hate when they don't put the lyrics in. And beautiful booklet with all that stuff in it. So I'm really, really pleased with this album. After his last one, everybody was sort of skeptical. This is great. Really like it. When I was there, I also found a couple of used records. And the first one I'm going to show is Merle Travis. And this is strictly guitar. So no vocals, just him playing guitar. And he was amazing guitar picker. And very rarely do I find his albums here in Maine. So whenever I see a Merle Travis album, I always grab it. And on here he does things like Lazy River, Cuddle Up a Little Closer, Cannonball Rag, I'll See You in My Dreams, Way Down Yonder in New Orleans. Great, great album. I don't have a date on it. On the Columbia, on Capitol, the Capitol Rainbow label. So, one of the great guitar pickers of all time, Merle Travis. What else did I pick up when I was there? Oh, before I've mentioned that the one person I have more albums than anybody else is Frank Sinatra. I have like 35 albums, and I think today we can make it 36 albums. This was put out in '57 when he was with Capitol, but this is a compilation of recordings he did for Columbia, put out in 1957 on the Columbia 6i, and it's a mixed bag. It's certainly not essential, but it has I Could Write a Book, which is great. Mad About You, It's Only a Paper Moon, I Guess I'll Have to Dream the Rest. It's pretty good. It's done when he was with Columbia, so there's some background singers and backup singers, which I don't love. I like his Capital of the Years the best, but my dad had this album. I remember Dad always had this album, was always playing it, so when I saw it, I had to grab it. Also there, this album was my first initiation into this man's career, knowing to know what he was, and this is Django Reinhardt. And this album is Django, the Quintet of the Hot Club of France, 1935 to 39. Quick story, first time I heard this album was with my ex-wife, talking 1973 probably. And we were visiting her cousin in the hills of West Virginia in a shack, way up in the middle of nowhere. And we were smoking a lot of pot and drinking homemade dandelion wine. And he says, "Oh, I gotta play this record," and he puts this record on, and I was completely blown away. And I was just like, from that moment, I was a Django fan. So this is great stuff. Well, I said, recorded 1935 to 1939 with Django and Stefan Grappelli. I'm just so happy to have it get back. I remember this as the album I had that he played for us. I then bought it, had it for years, and lost it when I got rid of all my records. So I'm real happy to add this back to the collection. Django Reinhardt on Crescendo Records. Crescendo, GNP. One more I picked up when I was in another used record I was there. Another album I had back in the day, and glad to bring it back in the fold, and that's the Brian Auger Oblivion Express and Reinforcements. This is also in the mid-'70s. When this first came out, this was in heavy rotation in my house. I played this all the time. Fantastic album. That jazz, fusion, electric jazz kind of thing going on. Recorded in 1975. Yeah, so Brian Auger's Oblivion Express. Picked this up at Goodwill. This is Broadside. They were originally a folk music magazine in the early 60s, and then they started putting out some records. This is actually a 1964 re-release of a 1963 record. Great label, Broadside. And it features a lot of folk music from the early 60s. So you have people like the New World Singers, which don't know, but Pete Seeger, Peter Lafarge, who wrote Ira Hayes. Thank you, the song Ira Hayes. Happy Traum is on here. And one guy who you may know, but on here they call him Blind Boy Grunt, who is actually Bob Dylan, because he was on the contract for Columbia then and couldn't record under his own name. He has 2 songs on here. Three songs. Only a Hobo, Talking Devil, and John Brown. And it's great. He's very young, obviously, but it's pretty cool to have. Broadside Records. Picked this up at Goodwill. This was a sealed album. Knew nothing about it, but it was sealed. It was a Goodwill. It was $2 or less, so I couldn't pass it up. and it's a band called The Figs, Bando Macho. I'd never heard of The Figs until then, but again, sealed album. I looked at the back. I like the look of it. Turns out they were Graham Parker's backup band for about 15 years, and they sound it. It has that kind of Graham Parker feel to it. Really good. Really like it. 1995, recorded in West Hurley, New York, and in Red Bank, New Jersey. Great stuff. Really, just fun rock and roll. Again, on the Capitol Rainbow, nothing's going to break down any barriers and make any new waves in rock and roll, but a really great listen. And for a brand new album for less than $2, I couldn't say no. I'm real happy with that one. One more I picked up. This was also sealed. A guy I never heard of him called Red Richards, jazz piano player and singer. And really, the only reason I picked it up is that on the back, it's signed by Red Richards. But the weirdest thing is it's signed on the plastic, on the the plastic, not on the album. So I can't remove the plastic. I'll keep that on there. It's signed 9/24/85 to something, regards Red Richards. I played this. It's not bad. It's on a French label, Black and Blue. It's a French pressing. Nice label. It's pretty, recorded 1980. It's pretty lounge music, kind of singer, piano player. It's not bad, but nothing I would go crazy for. But again, it was sealed and it was signed, so I figured, what the hell. So I got that. Then I was on Facebook and I saw this advertised, and I had to have it. In 2005, they put out a benefit album for New Orleans to help after Katrina by Habitat for Humanity. So they put out a CD with a whole bunch of New Orleans musicians on it as a benefit album. And now this year, for the first time, it's on vinyl. So when I saw it on vinyl, I grabbed it. And it's a benefit album, Our New Orleans, 2005. And it includes people like Alan Toussaint, Dr. John, Irma Thomas, Buckwheat Zydeco, the Dirty Dozen Brass Band, Randy Newman doing Louisiana, and Ry Cooder with Buckwheat Zydeco doing the Canned Heat song, Let's Work Together. Nice label. Really well recorded. And this was the reason I bought it online directly from None Such Records. And all proceeds go to Habitat for Humanity to help rebuild homes in New Orleans. So I couldn't let that go. Nice double album. Oh, what's playing in the background? You get the applause. This is the Oscar Peterson Trio at the Stratford Shakespearean Festival CD. I like to put on CDs when I'm doing videos. I don't have to worry about flipping it over. All right, what else we got? Oh, now we got a bunch of... all right, so right around Christmas, there's a website called You Discover Music. And I went on there, and they had a 30% off sale. So I looked up and I found 3 of the Blue Note 80th anniversary issue records, which I didn't have and I wanted. The 80th issues are really well done. They're not as good as the Tone Poets, but the price isn't the same either. Plus it was 30% off. So I bought 3 records. They're in like Kentucky or Tennessee or somewhere out there. And I was watching the shipping, and they shipped it from Kentucky. It got to Connecticut in 3 days. So this was still well before Christmas, right after Christmas. During 3 days, I said, great, I'll have another 2-3 days. I'll have it here in Maine. Every day I tracked it. It sat in the warehouse in Connecticut for over 2 weeks. It finally showed up. Someone had dropped it, and the edges of all the records were damaged. The records were fine, but the covers themselves were all bent and damaged. So I wrote the company, and I told them what happened. And I said, send me a return label. I'll send these back and send me new records. They sent me new records. Came pretty quickly. but they never asked for the records back. So I asked them again, send me the label for the records. They never responded. So I ended up selling those other 3 to someone locally, and I kept the 3 that were good. So first one was the Horace Silver Quintet at the Village Gate. This is Doing the Thing. Fantastic. I mean, it's Blue Mitchell on trumpet, Junior Cook on tenor sax, Horace Silver on piano, Gene Taylor on bass, and Roy Brooks on drums. Just the exact kind of hard bop I absolutely love. And you've all seen the Blue Note label. You don't have to see that yet again. And it's the 80th anniversary. It's the UME issue. But again, for what I paid for them, fantastic. Next one is Freddie Hubbard, Hub Tones, with Freddie Hubbard, James Spaulding on alto, sax, and flute, Herbie Hancock on piano, Reginald Workman on bass, and Clifford Jarvis on drums. Also the same UME, same Blue Note label. Just great. Just, I mean, this is my kind of music. And what I'm finding is the more I listen to jazz, the more I want to listen to jazz. So I've just been really listening to jazz mostly. Dexter Gordon, A Swingin' Affair, with Sonny Clark, Butch Warren, and Billy Higgins on drums. Same pressings as the other one. Oh, when I was at the comic store where I bought the records the other day with Brian, one of the records I bought was the Neil Young Harvest Moon. It was used, it was $19, it looked absolutely perfect. I took it home, played it. The first song, I hear all this and I said, what the hell is that? I said, maybe it's just the first song, I'll be fine. By the third song, sounding exactly the same, I took it off, I examined it, it looked perfect, but something must have happened to the grooves. I don't know if it was in the processing or if somebody played it on a bad needle, I don't know. But I then called Newbury Comics locally here in Maine, and I said, you know, I bought this at your store in Massachusetts. Even though it's a used record, it's unlistenable. They said, all right, bring it back. We'll trade it in for you. So I took it back. They were happy to take it back. And instead of trying something which I'll try this, I'll try that, I'm not really sure what I want, I went with something I know I'm going to love, and I do. And I picked up the Art Blakey, Just Coolin', with Lee Morgan, Hank Mobley, Bobby Timmons, Jamie Merritt on bass, and Art Blakey on drums. And again, another fantastic, this is a 2020 release, so it's not the 80th. Also the Blue Note, also the hard bop, just exactly what I love. Voila. One more, I just realized I got a show. This I picked up at Bull Moose Music, local store. They always have a section of markdowns. I guess they keep the records in their regular bins for a while, and then after a month or 2 months, whatever, they mark them down 25%, then they mark them down 50%, blah, blah, blah. I'm digging through there. I see this record, and I had to grab it. It's J.J. Cale. I'm a big J.J. Cale fan. This, I guess, originally was released in 2004 on CD only, and then in 2018, it was re-released in France on a French label called Because. And it's a great 2-record set of J.J. Cale to Tulsa and back. Really happy to get it. Again, it's only released in France. I don't know what the Bull Moose was doing with a French pressing, brand new. But, and this was marked down 25%, so I couldn't let it sit there. And there you go, J.J. Cale. So that's all the new stuff I've gotten. There's my little rant about should I spend my time making videos, watching videos, or listening to music. Let me know what you think. Where do you stand in that camp? Should we be spending our time listening more to music, watching other people's videos, or making our own videos? Okay, hey, thanks for watching, and until next time, peace.